According to the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, US drone strikes have struck up to 154 times in Yemen in the past 11 years and have killed almost 800 people. There have to be certain villages, communities in parts of Yemen where people fear for their lives, are in a constant state of fear perhaps because of this US foreign policy. This is the US strategy, or part of the strategy, for fighting Al-Qaeda, dealing with Al-Qaeda in this area. Do US political and military leaders really give a fuck about the farmers, the old men, the old women, and the children who die horrible, brutal deaths? People who have nothing to do with Al-Qaeda or any other terror group. What does this policy achieve other than creating fear and destruction? Well, it surely also generates anger. And perhaps it drives a fair few enraged tribesmen into the arms of Al-Qaeda in Yemen. Yemen isn't the only victim of the unmanned aerial vehicles, though. Drone attacks have been happening in northwest Pakistan for almost 10 years now. The strikes began under George W. Bush, and they have increased under Barack Obama's government. Where's the accountability here? Is the US government accountable for its actions, accountable to the international community? Will those responsible for killing innocent people via these drone strikes ever have to answer to the families of the dead? As far as statistics go for civilian casualties since these attacks began in 2004 in northwest Pakistan, it's difficult to get accurate numbers. The numbers can vary a lot depending on who you listen to. And I would question the impartiality of certain groups who've put their figures and estimates out there. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, have been involved, of course, with overseeing and directing these drone strikes. Would it be fair to call these drone strikes against alleged militants targeted assassinations? Clearly, the US government believes in this campaign. The US government knows that innocent people are being killed in these strikes, but they still persist. So, civilian casualties are acceptable to the US government. I've heard the Pakistani government issuing statements after this attack or that attack saying, this is a violation of our country's sovereignty. And a couple of months ago, a court in Pakistan ruled CIA drone strikes to be illegal. Yeah, I honestly don't think the CIA gives a shit about a court ruling in Pakistan. Does the US government, by its actions, give the impression that it cares about the sovereignty of Pakistan, I ask? So Pakistan is the main target of these strikes, Yemen being another target, and according to the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, Somalia has also been targeted by US drone strikes, but nowhere near as much as Yemen has been targeted, and certainly nowhere near as much as northwest Pakistan has been targeted. Whatever certain political leaders might say, whatever official statements are put out there trying to legitimize and justify these drone strikes, the reality is innocent blood has been shed and families have been torn apart. And the world will not soon forget what's happened over the past 10 years or so. Mr. Obama has called the strikes part of a legitimate campaign against terrorism. You can't blow up terrorism. You can't defeat terrorism with bombs, with missiles. Terrorism is a tactic. You can blow up a terrorist, but you can't blow up terrorism. Is one intention of these drone attacks to cause terror among America's perceived or actual enemies? Do these drone strikes disregard the safety of non-combatants? If we answer yes to these questions, then can we correctly call Mr. Obama a terrorist? You tell me. Answers below, please.